It's a privilege to be here today to talk on a very important topic that is ravaging the whole world. Presently, we are actually experiencing it. Students, how many of you are enjoying your environment this time around? There is heat, is that not so? Even if you have AC, you still experience heat. And that is the reason why this important topic is necessary for us. And we have to pay attention to it. And we have to be together and let's fight it. Is that okay? Yeah, we are Africa. It is true. We have some issues with us. Agreed. But at the same time, we also have the capacity to fight back by taking care of our environment. Therefore, I'll be speaking on the topic given to me. We are all responsible for climate change. Well, why is this topic? Why are we having it? Why are we having it? It's because of the challenges that can emanate or that we are experiencing from these climate change issues. And that's come to a situation whereby we have to apply our self in solving the problem. So these are the outline for today. Talk about the introduction. What's climate change? Causes of climate change. Science of climate change. Effect or impact of climate change. And then that will take us to our main topic. How are we responsible for climate change? Then we have conclusion. Sorry. First of all, you should know that weather and climate are not the same thing. They are not the same. Is that okay? They are not. For example, talk of weather. You know, in the morning you have a cloud. Yeah, cloudy. That is weather. I get my point. If you have a bright cloud, yeah, it's not the same as climate. Now, climate is what happens repeatedly over time. Is that okay? For example, in Southwest, now we are in tropical region, or what's called tropical climate environment, where we have trees, big trees, and then we also have some people in the far north. Is that okay? And because over time, some parameters has been measured over time that determine such. It's not just climate, but there are some parameters that have to do with more rigorous scientific rigor. Are you following? Sorry if I'm not a physicist or chemist. Just follow me. I will try to speak at your level so that for us to understand. And I also know, please pick one or two things because it's a serious issue. Because I've had one experience, and that's the reason why I'm passionate about this issue of climate change. What's weather? I say weather is a short term, it's very limited, can change rapidly, and difficult to predict because it can happen anytime. So weather is what's happening outside your window right there, like nobody see now. You can see you have bright cloud, that's weather. Let's say the next 10 to 20 minutes now, it can change again. Then you are expecting rain. But climate is not like that. Thank you. Let's move on. What is climate? Climate is the average of many year weather observation. I get my point? And that's essence why we have NIMET, Nigerian Meteorological Agency. You know, they predict for us what's going to happen. You know, presently, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, we were told that Southwest Nigeria, Ogun, Lagos, Benue, some things should prepare for heavy flood. Is that not so? Yeah. Currently, Dubai is facing it with a major flooding. Is that not so? Pakistan last week was another one entirely. I follow it. But through this climate issues, we can predict all those things that's happening, in which climate change is one of them. I follow it. So as we go, we see how they are interwoven. How can climate change cause flooding or cause flood? Or how climate change, or what are the problems that's associated with climate change? Well, I'm just laying the foundation for us to understand this. For us to understand that climate is not the same thing as weather. Okay, let's move on, please. And then, along the line, because we are staying within a climatical environment, that's the reason why we should understand our climate. Are you following? Now, some developed countries like Europe, like Asia, like Americans, they are paying attention to their climate because in fact they will make more money from that. Now you've heard about space shuttle, am I right? Spacecraft, is that also? Do you know the idea? The idea is that if Africa is not ready and they want to be killing themselves, and the East, that's just the Arab countries, they don't like themselves, we can just transport ourselves to the space and stay there. And the only thing that's delaying them now is that they are looking for water. Once they're able to get source of water, some people will stay there. But I'm in Africa, you are also in Africa. We are not into space. We are still living our Earth planet. And we have to take care of that planet very well so that we can enjoy it. Is that also? We have to enjoy it. But the protection of our environment, of our climate, is dependent on us. Forget no outsiders. No outsiders will come to Africa and monitor it for us. And that's the reason why we have to fight back. We have to fight back and take our life in our hands. Okay, please let me show. Okay, sorry, please. I think there is issue. I can come up with my slides here. So let's move on, please. So, as I've said earlier, that first of all, we should know that weather and climate are not the same. I have mentioned that, and I've mentioned that weather observation is temporal and limited. While climate is what happened after observation of weather event for the period of time. Now, what is climate change? Climate change has to do with the significant changes in global climate, which has a link with temperature. For some years, like 10 to 20 years ago, the whole world is operating within like 5 degrees Celsius. But in recent time, things has changed. See, when we have 6%, 7%, there is danger. Now we have up to like 10%. Are you getting it? Of climate change, of temperature, of temperature that's dependent on climate over the years. And that's the reason why what we are experiencing now is global. It's not only Africa. Not that it's in Nigeria alone. It's everywhere. Are you getting it? It's what? Everywhere. And that's the reason why we have to pay attention to it. I know that so many of us, we are fighting probably top to management. We need fan, we need AC, we need so many things to cool ourselves. It's not our fault because it's a natural occurrence caused by us. Are you getting it? Caused by our attitude to some certain things. But by the time we get there, you know where we are all responsible for some of all these things. Now, causes of climate change, yes, we have natural factor. There are two main factors. We have natural factor, and then we have what I call man-made factor, which leads to what we call anthropogenic activities of individual. Is that taking? So we have natural factor. For example, one of the natural factors of climate change can be volcanic eruption. I get it. volcanic eruption. That's one of the natural phenomenon. Then, but the other phenomenon which is man-made, this with when you are generating energy, when you are powering your house, when you are powering your cars, when we want to develop our environment, is that also? We cut all our trees in the forest, cut them. That are man-made challenges. We are the cause of that. Are you getting it? Those are the man-made. Okay. Thank you. So I've talked about climate change refer to significant long-term changes in the global climate and its connected system to sun, earth, ocean, wind, rain, and snow. If you look at, I don't know if you are seeing from the slide there, there's a diagram there that shows you how sun is connected to the climate and how our activities affecting the climate, and then how climate is affecting us. Are you getting it? We are still under a climate. I get my point. We are still there. We are not staying in the subsurface. Is that okay? We are not staying in the subsurface. We are still in the environment that's habitable. So that's why we need to pay attention to this. Let's go up, please. I said because of climate change, natural factor, ocean current. The other side of the slide is has to do with man-made activity, which has to do with the manufacturing industries, oil and gas explorations, where you buy your buildings, all those things. They are the main cause, they are the man-made cause. And then science of climate change. Science of climate change has to do with what we call natural greenhouse effect. How many of us have a greenhouse effect? Greenhouse effect? Good. Talk about emissions. Greenhouse. Are you getting it? Those are the basic science of climate change, because it has to do with the interaction of sun and radiation and solar radiation. Because we have Earth space is, we have what we call equator, we have polar region, we have equatorial region, we have polar region. You will discover that in polar region, that's why we have most of this developed world, like Europe, like America. That's the reason why we can have such natural occurrence phenomenon like a tornado. I'm not afraid of tornado, wildfire, what we call forest fire. Wildfire simply means heat. Wildfire simply means heat from subsurface is causing natural fire. I mean naked fire that's burning the whole of forest and that's affecting the environment. It's as a result of interaction of sun to the environment which leads to that. And for the basic science, climate change that we need to understand for generally, even if you don't like science, please understand that greenhouse and global warming are the basic science of climate change. Are you following? Are the basic science of climate change. Please, anywhere you find yourself and they are organizing conferences, how to do it, sciences, please pay attention. Be there, ask questions. That's one. So, that diagram can show us more of the climate change. We also talk about carbon dioxide, carbon stored, and all this has been destroyed. That is why we need to pay attention to some of our these issues. Now, what are the visual effects? What are the visual effects? Sorry. What are the visual effects? What are the visual effects or impact of climate change? Please look at the first figure there. You can see the first figure there the first figure there. You can see one part is green. We have green leaves. Is that also? And the other one we have very dry. Now, the environment we're supposed to be living in has to do with green leaf, green environment. But the impact of climate change is that you have drought. And that drought is what you are seeing on the other side. Please, I want to ask you a question. Can you plant anything inside that dry area? No. And now, you all depend on plants. Is that also? Yeah. You eat rice, you eat beans, you eat yam, but they are all dependent on our green environment. Now, imagine the impact of climate change. See what that's one of them. So our environment must be such a way that we have green leaf. And that's the reason you have seen how some governments now are trying to make an idea that, okay, let there be tree planting. In fact, some will flag it off as a big issue. Are you getting it? Let's plant trees just to protect the environment. So which means if you are building your house and you have put down some trees, endeavor to plant another one. Is that okay? Endeavor to plant another one. Look at the other slides there, other image you have seen there. The other one, that is what we call tornado. As I've said, in Africa, particularly in Nigeria, we normally experience such because we are under equatorial region. I will explain better when we got there. Then the other one, you see where we have there. That's when the. Okay, thank you. No, please go to the previous slide. Previous. Before this one. No, that one. Okay. It's not showing here. No. It's not showing. Where we have those images. Okay, don't worry. We'll continue. Now, the other one is, you see, where we are producing, thank God we are all producing countries. Now, look at what happened. When the smokes comes out from this combustion system, it interacts with atmosphere and damage our ozone layer. It damages. And then there will be issue. Look at the other one. That's what's called wildfire, forest fire. You can see forest, naked fire. This is a fire that it's not matches fire. It's a natural fire from the subsurface as a result of climate change. Are you following? So move to the next slide, please. Thank you. You can see the other one there, flooding. This, how many of you have experienced it in Lagos State? Flood? You have not seen flood before? Let me give you our experience. Some months ago, at a bridge that crossed from Command to Ayobo Hill, I spent over 5 hours just to cross. You know, not taking just 1 minute to cross because of flood. Those are the effects. You see the other one. This one happens 2022 in Kogi State. That's so much the whole Lokoja. So it's a serious issue. So it's not something we are playing with here. It's a serious matter. Please, that is the reason why we have to pay attention to it. Please, let's move forward, please. Okay, so what? Okay, thank you. What are the other impacts? We have hot temperatures, as I've said earlier, more severe storms. Then increased drought. We have a warming and rising ocean, which also affects because when there is climate change, ocean will rise. I get to my point to find a way, and that's the reason why people stay in Lekki and side that they are experiencing such. I get it now. So please, we need to pay attention to all these things. Then loss of species, because we all need animals to survive. We need them. So we have loss of species. They're not enough food. More health risk and poverty. Poverty now. Imagine, I think we have three local governments, particularly in Lagos, that are crucially having this issue of flood, particularly. Etiosa local government, Moshi, Lekki side, that's their challenges. They've always having such issues. In fact, carry out their houses, their buildings. Imagine you have built your house, and one day, flood just showed up and didn't allow you to sleep. Can you imagine it? That is the issue. Thank God, the topic of the program has to do with future follow. That's why we have to prepare ourselves. Thank you. So, I said, how are we all responsible for climate change? One, deforestation. Through deforestation, we are responsible, and habitat destruction. Two, fossil fuel consumption. Yes. Water pollution, agricultural practices, soil degradation, waste generation management. That is indiscriminate waste management. When you dispose your waste indiscriminately, every little thing you take, your nylon, you just throw it on the floor, your pet bottle, you just throw it on the floor, you are contributing to climate change. Urbanization. Now, yes, because in developed area, that's what is happening. But meanwhile, we are destroying our environment if we are not protecting them. Now, what is conclusion? What is conclusion? Please, I want to take note of this as we are living here. We must engage in conservation efforts. We must try as much as possible in our individual places. Let's conserve our environment. Participate in local conservation projects. Initiatives to protect natural habitat and biodiversity. Push for policy changes. Urge government to implement policies that promote sustainability, renewable energy, environmental protection. I know that some of you are in political science, some of you are studying, some of you are in political science department here, some of you are mass communication department, and some of you are computer scientists. Is that taking? Please, we should endeavor. In fact, you can form NGO only from this platform. You get your fund from international organizations for contributing your quota regarding, because climate change affects everybody, everyone, every industry. 3, choose responsible businesses. Support companies committed to eco-friendly practices and ethical sourcing of resources. Please, I'm aware in the southeast and south where we are having larger percentage of oil exploration, and now the environment is having issue. We need to fight. We need to talk. If we don't talk, nothing will happen. Invest in green technologies. Promote and invest in green technologies that help mitigate environmental impact. Then lastly, collaborate and share knowledge. Collaborate and share. Let's collaborate. I'm a scientist. I'm an applied geophysicist. I'm a physicist. And then I'm solving an environmental problem that's affecting humanity. We can collaborate. We can. Thank you so much. And I also want to use this privilege to thank the Association of University. You know, when they came on board for this particular opportunity, and I said, well, there's no problem. And along the line, there are different aspects of climate change that we look at. Is that okay? We look at climate and law, climate and policy. We look at flood and coastal changes as a result of climate change. So let's come together and fight this. Lend your voice. Anywhere you find yourself, lend your voice. If you are privileged to travel outside African continent, lend your voice. Let them know that we are serious as a continent. Let them know that we are serious as a country in combating climate change. Thank you so much.